What's up everyone, welcome back to another video clip on my YouTube channel, and this week I'm going to show you how do I make the ARPS sections in my tracks. First of all, before I start, I want to let you know that we are organizing the Psytrance retreat. Maybe you heard already. Psyprolab.com. It's going to happen from 2nd April till 7th April in Cambridge. If you're interested, if you want to learn a bit more about Psytrance music, and if you want to network with other people that are learning to make Psytrance music, please visit www.psyprolab.com. This is the first thing. The second thing, both of my courses are on discount. Psychedelic Tips World 3 for 99 euros and the Kick and Bass class is 69. So if you're keen to learn more about making music, visit theeclipmusic.com. Anyway, let's start with this section. So I have a track over here. I have this part of a track over here in which I want to fill with an ARP section because there's a really nice movement in this track up to this point, and in this point I feel it needs a little bit more something that's gonna enrich the track, so I'm gonna try to write an ARP. For the ARP section, first thing, I already have the replica and black hole over here. Replica is on 1/8 dot and it's on ping pong, right, and black hole is already set up to 20% on the default preset, which I like the most, and this is the only one I'm using. And I have a bit of the low cut because I really don't want to have the lowest ones from the ARP section. It doesn't have sense because the ARP is going mostly to play above 500, and this is the area where it's going to be heard the most, and this is where I want to saturate it. And I'm gonna send it to the 7 and 8 because this is my group or my bus for all the melodic stuff and everything. So first of all, the track is in G. Okay, I don't have VST inside of it. Alright, so I'm gonna insert serum and I'm gonna start with serum. So the basics or the default settings, attack on 0, and I'm gonna set the envelope to 100 milliseconds as a start point, sustain down, and filter on, and I'm gonna connect it with this, and I'm gonna set, I don't know, 7 unisons. I want to have something plucky because it's the best for me, or the easiest. So the combination of the notes which I'm gonna start, usually we can use the major or minor scale. I'll never use major scales, I always use the minor, so we can use something like. But for this time, I'm gonna use the combination of the 0 or the key root. Then I'm gonna use the 7th, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's like G, then D, and then I'm gonna use the 8, the D sharp, so. And then there's a 10th, like. So this is something that I can start with. So there are two different types of ARPs that I usually make. I'm not giving you any advanced knowledge over here. Everything I learned by myself, and all the knowledge you're gonna see over here, it's not based on the music theory. It was all by the ears, but during the time I realized which scale is which one, and this is how I basically learned everything. So I can say it's kind of an advantage because I was forced to find the notes that are going together, and I was doing that by just trying to write, moving one by one until I found and realized that there's a kind of harmony over there. By talking and analyzing with some other artists or the friends of mine that are musically educated, they were all, oh, this is that scale, this is that scale, this is that scale. I didn't have a clue, honestly, to be honest. So everything I learned was only by the ear. So the first thing how we can start making the ARPs is basically we can find the chord that you like, something like. And then we can use those 3 notes in pair. This is the first thing that I will maybe try, like. So this is G, D, and G again, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted G, D, and F. Okay. So I can set it like this. I really love when we have 3 notes only, and after 3 notes, it's gonna repeat itself. Something like this, okay. Let's say like, sorry, this is F sharp. I heard something is wrong. Or maybe we can do it even like this. This was now the accident. So when I build the ARPs, I like that the notes are kinda rising up and that way moving upwards. And as I believe they are creating some kind of uplifting moment. and then from the beginning, so. But this third one I want to change. The easiest way is that you just repeat the first section. But I always, as I say, I love them to rise a little bit, so I can set this one as the fourth one, and the fourth one I can set to something like this. But for some reason I really don't like it. So this is the one way, like we can choose the different chords and then convert these chords inside of the ARP. And this is the one way. The another way is that I will always have something like, I'll have the key root note, something like this. All right, cancel, okay. And then I will try to maybe move some of these notes. Let's say I'm gonna move this one to D. Yeah, something like this. And then the lower notes, I'm gonna always set to be kind of shorter. Okay, and then I can put a little bit of release as well. Actually, I don't need to put sustain, but release I need to set up a little bit more. Okay, so I will do something like this. I'm gonna repeat it. Okay, so. And now I want to do something at the end, so I'll try the F. Okay, so. But maybe like this, okay? Okay, once again. Nice. And now for this one, I want to create something like da-da-da-da. So maybe like this, and then F, and then again G at the end. Da-da-da-da. Let's see. Kind of trancey one. It's more kind of a lead, but again, I'm gonna try to do what I don't like is that I have 3 notes over here. So sometimes I'm gonna try to merge them to have one longer note. So well, this one is pretty long. So let's say like. Okay, so. And I will maybe put a legato over here with portamento. Okay, now 1. And then I need to put the release a little bit less. Okay. No, I don't like it. Anyway, I'm gonna move it back. So what I'm going to try to do, because I can use this 10th note, as I already said, it's going to be 7, 8, 10, 12. So I can maybe use like the 1 octave below, but this is pretty long distance. Maybe I can do it like this, like. And now, yeah, let me just bring back the release. Yeah. Maybe those two, like. To the down, maybe. Ah, sounds nice. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. And then this one. Okay, so this is kinda, yeah, so those two. those two, right? So this is something that I will use definitely. But when it comes to the melodies or the arps, sometimes I find something that sounds really nice, but then I keep it to sit overnight, and most likely tomorrow I'm gonna make a certain smaller change or change just the place, like rhythmic or whatever, and then in the next 3 or 4 days it's going to be like fine tuning. So if you don't like, sometimes if you're working on the melodic stuff or whatever you're creating, and if you don't like it, just keep it as a backup version. As in Cubase we can make the different versions of the MIDI over here. So already have first one, second one. So now if I like this, I can just duplicate it, you know, and make it like version 3, and then I can make a certain changes. But I will always keep this one as a backup, and that way sometimes it happens that in a third version I completely change everything, and then I go back to the second one and I realize like, oh, I like this part, and in most cases I combine those versions and find the best out of them. So it might happen that in the third version I'm gonna make it way better rhythmically, because what I did over here, all these transpose notes are going like in the middle and then like after 3 notes. So it might happen that in some time I will kind of change it. Maybe I'm gonna extend this one to be like longer, like something like. When you make it longer, you're making the accent. So when you want to put the certain notes to kind of get in front of the other ones, we can usually do that by just extending them. Or in certain cases, I'm gonna just copy all these transpose notes. I'm gonna move to another channel and I'm gonna put a layer. So if I want to accent all of these notes that are kind of up there, then I'm gonna do it. So in a certain moments, like for example, if I had any glide, like from one note to another, I might happen that I'm gonna just take this glided note and move to another layer. So when it comes for the arps, the most important first thing is the rhythmics. I'm gonna make a new version. Let me just copy this. So if I just transpose all of them to one note, all right, and then all this F's up. Okay. So if I have only G's over here, so if you do a good job only rhythmically, like with the length, for example, so if you just play around with the length of the notes, you can make the magic. And then if you do that, like then just transposing them to a different notes or whatsoever. So there are a few parameters or the 3 important things which I believe when you are making the leads or the arps that are important. First one is the scales and the transpose. The second one is the rhythmic. The third one is the length of the notes, the accents. So how do you do it? The accents you can do by the length of the notes. You can do with the velocity also. Like if I connect now the velocity to cutoff as well, just slightly, not that much, not to be like really that much. And then if I take all these transpose notes and if I just pull them a little bit up, so now all of them like, okay, I need to move this down like, okay, so okay, so now this is going to be repeated. All right. Maybe this one to go down. I don't think so. Maybe I did a mistake because for some reason I like them if they go first to go down, then maybe like, yeah, that sounds a bit better, honestly. Yeah. So I'm moving the second, there were 2 G notes like this. And then I did transpose this one to F, but then I realized that maybe when they go up, it's kind of sounding better. So what I did, I moved the first G down to octave, and the second G I moved down to F note. Yeah, something like this. Okay, maybe moving this one down to G, something like this. Okay, and now I'm gonna just duplicate these ones, and I hope they're gonna merge. Yeah, they do. So I'm going to do the same for the next ones. Just the latest ones are gonna be D and F. This supposed to be like this, and this something like this, right? I think so. I hope so. And this because it's, I don't want to go from this D all the way down for 2 octaves. Yeah, something like this. Okay. So I went again to the G, right? Okay, I'm gonna delete this. I really like this pattern. And this is something for the first day, so I wouldn't bother more than this. And I'm not sure how much, it's around 15 minutes. So around 15 minutes, I can have the focus, I can have this feeling. Everything above that, I might get confused and whatsoever. So the most important thing is whatever you are doing, don't overdo it. Don't stress yourself that much, because if you put yourself in that stress zone, you're gonna make a bad decision. So even if you do something good, if you are over listening to it, you'll not be able to hear it as well as you should. And you might skip and might have a solution that's good for your track, but you won't understand it, and you will just do it because you're just over listening. So the another thing is, again, now if I want to change, again, I'm gonna copy this version, I'm gonna call it V4, and then I'm gonna start applying certain changes. So I have the version 2. Yeah, so this is something that, yeah, and I had the first version, which is this was before I even turned on the camera, because I just wanted to warm up and to see what I can do and blah 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 to prepare for the video. Yeah, something like this. But for some reason, I really don't like the sound of it. So what I'm going to do, let's say duplicate, and I'm gonna try another one, let's say Spire. Okay, Spire, definitely mute delay and reverb from it because they sound terrible. And I do have some, okay, this one, let's say Fantasy, or this one, and definitely turning off the ARP. Okay, but it sounded amazing on the... So let's hear it in a track with muted. Actually, it sounded better, I think, in this one. But in general, this will be the first session for me building the ARP section, and definitely I'm gonna look for a better sound design. I'm gonna try duplicating so many different. I'm gonna try many different VSTs. I'm gonna try to many different designs. I'm gonna try to layer them. Some of them will be like a leady, and of course, I'm gonna start changing and modifying the MIDI as well. I'm gonna definitely try to pull in the glides because I love them so much, as you already know if you are following my channel. But anyway, that was it for now. It's already 20 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon with another video. Bye.